Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new video, and this time I want to talk about the knockoff or the copies, the recasting, and especially comes from this mail I received from Scale 75. Okay, I'm subscribed to Scale 75 News, and they send this mail. So first I want to read about that, and then I want to have a chat. This mail is in two languages, it's English and Spanish, so I will read, of course, the English statement here. So, hello everyone, from humility, but with maximum responsibility as part of Model Family. Scale 75 wants to start today an awareness campaign against recasters and piracy that our market is suffering. Lately, all brands have seen how our creations are being reproduced illegally and without any scruples in massive way. There are many families, peoples, and brands that struggle hard every day to bring you new and spectacular figures and products. Our existence is in danger. It is not a matter of victimization or educating anyone, but is about making all our followers understand that the illicit practices of the recasters are causing us to be little by little in danger of extinction if we continue to feed them. From our communication department, we have thought to create a small logo or symbol to include in all our products referring to this problem and to try to raise awareness of the need to protect our hobby among all. Be free to include it in those places that you consider appropriate. If you agree with this awareness campaign, we attach the pictures in different versions so you can use them in all your publications. Share and help us so that this beautiful hobby is not destroyed by this type of practices that do so much damage to our small industry. It's a little contribution against illegal piracy. Thank you very much. Protect your hobby. So I make a video, I think was some months ago, more than 1 year or 2 years ago, about the risk of the copies and the recast. And here we see how this company, this is not a Games Workshop company, right? It's not a big company like Games Workshop or Private Press that can that is being copied. It is quite a small company. They don't have a big portfolio of products, so it's quite interesting for me that they are also in the target of this recast and piracy. I was aware that Forge World, Games Workshop, Forge World and Games Workshop, I mean, is the same. But I have seen copies of a lot of different big companies. But it's the first time that a small company for me is complaining. And this is concerning me because it's the ones that will suffer the most from the recasting can be these small companies. These are the ones that they have the less resources possible or have lower resources, and they are the ones that can suffer the most from piracy. If we look the business, normally the big companies, of course, they will have some damage, they will have some losses, but it's not going to be something that they that will put in risk normally a big company. Normally, all these copies, piracy, it's making more damage with small companies. So so as a result, we are losing some innovative companies. What is the problem of the recast? So the recast, first of all, they don't have to invest in people to do the design. So they don't do their own designs, right? So they just take a thing that is in the market, and they copy, paste, and they create a new a copy of this model. So they can go quite cheap because they don't have any overhead of trying to spend time and resources to do this, to do a new model or to design this new model. And they can compete with, thanks to that, they can compete with very low prices because you only need, with the resin today or with the 3D printer, you only need to invest on a 3D printer or just with on making some molds, some casting molds, and yeah, this is quite straightforward and easy to do, right? One person can do that and can sell by internet. Today with internet is very easy to sell. The other thing is that what it really hurts these companies is not when you do a copy for your own, okay? This person that is maybe making a copy of a miniature that they already have. What it really makes damage is the people that make money from the property of others. And I think this, if we put an example, it's like buying products that you know that have been stolen, right? And you buy this in the black market or in the second-hand market, but you know that the origin is quite not clear, right? It's quite a dark origin, so maybe it's a product that have been stolen in a shop or something like that. So this is the same type of problem they have with that, okay? So yeah, I will not tell you what you have to do with your life, but be aware that when we start buying Recast, most of the times, in the long term, if this is evolving and becoming bigger, the problem is the companies will have less resources, less money, and they will have less innovation. And I will tell you one thing, it will impact more small companies than bigger companies. I'm always in favor of people. I think Games Workshop did some mistakes in the past, being too aggressive protecting the IP. I think it's good to have third companies that can make compatible models. I don't think this is a problem. I think this is okay. If you do your own design and you are competitive, I don't see the point that you cannot do it. For example, I will put an example. I like when I was looking for Blood Bowl teams, I also look some things that are not Games Workshop, and I will show you soon in the channel. But these are designs that are not a copy paste from all miniatures or from new miniatures. These are people that have made their own design of the miniature, right? So, and on top, they were not much cheaper than the Games Workshop ones. They were the same cost, more or less. So, what I want to say here is the recasting, the copies, are going to do damage on the small companies. And I was surprised. I was not expecting that the Scale 75s will be impacted by recast. I was not, if you want to buy a Scale 75 model, I don't see why you go for a recast to save some dollars. At the end, they are not that much expensive normally. As far as I know, right? I can understand more the recast on Forge World, for example, right? Because there are some very expensive miniatures, and we know that there are some good recast coming from China, where there is not IP protection. So, but yeah, I will say that in the long term, this is not good for the business. This is not good for the hobby. In short term, of course, it's good for our wallets if we go for recast. But be aware, if we are hurting these companies and these companies cannot invest anymore on making new miniatures, we are going to have, they will not do more miniatures, and we are going to lose all the variety we have today in the market, right? The market will start shrinking because they will not be able to compete against the recasters. And as I say, Games Workshop and big companies like that, I don't think Privateer Press and maybe others, they will not suffer. They will not suffer because they have techniques to be able to reduce costs if they want. They are creating new models, a lot of new models every month. So it's even a hard work for the recasters to be able to go on the cast of the wave of the Games Workshop, right? So they do so much new models every month that they can. Is the model no Games Workshop is doing, and this is why Games Workshop is changing the inventory and is adding so many miniatures every month. Is the way for them to minimize the impact of the copies and the piracy. Because if you are putting anything every month, new things, new models, new games, it's very difficult to copy them, right? You can copy some of the old miniatures, but not once they are out of trend, there are new miniatures that the people is more interested on. This is why I say that recast is impacting more small companies, that they cannot afford to do so many miniatures. They cannot afford to have a big team making miniatures, and in the long, and they also have to survive thanks to all designs, no? The Games Workshop, they don't need to survive from the old designs. They are creating new designs almost. They're creating new designs almost every week, right? So just think twice when you go to Recast. Really think how much you're saving, and think that, yeah, they exist because some people is buying them. If not, they will not exist. And I will say there is two types of piracy. Always people talk about copying and for example, if we compare to the business of the music or the films, right? There is a lot of piracy on DVDs or CDs. There is two types of, always I have seen there is two types of piracy. The ones that you copy yourself and you copy at home. It's like you have the 3D printer and you print your own miniatures at home. And then there is the one that is making business. And this is an illicit business that you're making with the IP of another person. So, although both, I will say, that are not good practices, the second one is much more dangerous than the first one. Okay, because on the first one, when you do your own copies, you have a limited resources. You copy what you're really interested on, and in the long term, if you want normally a good quality, you buy the miniature, you buy the article, right? But on the first one, the people that are these people that is making money, and most of the times free of taxes, because as it is not a legal, normally it's not a legal thing, they will not tax on something that is illegal. So they're doing illicit business using the IP of other people, and I think here is where I have the problem, when people is really making business from the work of other people. We all are pissed off when someone is copying us an idea or is stealing an idea from us. So think on this when you have a recast. That's all what I want to talk here. Just an awareness. I agree with what the Scale 75 says here. If the piracy, if the copies, the recasting is growing too much, the ones that will suffer the most will be the small companies that are trying to do high quality products, and they see how the products are copied quite easily. That's all for now for this video. Please leave in the comments below. Let me know what do you think. I know that this can be a difficult topic, and I understand there can be opinions in both directions. Really looking forward to know what is your opinion. And if you don't agree on my statement, instead of leaving a dislike, I prefer that you put a comment below explaining what you don't agree on what I'm saying here. That's all for now. As usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye!